wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go.
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's
Welcome to week 8 of the iRacing official season. The Class C NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series coming to you live this week from Chicagoland Speedway, located about 30 miles south of downtown Chicago. We've got 45 laps ahead of us tonight. Our first time covering the Class C Series live here on SimSpeed TV on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitch. My name is Ryan Jones. Alongside me is Simon Mazzomo. We've got Jay Kennedy behind the scenes on the cameras for us. And I mentioned this is our first time covering Class C. We've been trying to cover Class B, the Xfinity Series, Simon. Hadn't been getting too much participation, but first time out here in the trucks, and we've got 2 full splits.
Yeah, it's fantastic participation straight away. Good evening, everyone. But yeah, super keen for this one. I've kind of got a bit of a love for the trucks at the moment, so really looking forward to broadcasting this one. Chicagoland, fun little track. It's very sort of tight, but very flowing as well. It's obviously being the 45 lap race, tires are going to be the big talking point. If we go green the whole way, we won't necessarily need tire changes. So very important to see who can manage their tires for this entire race.
Yes, most certainly, as qualifying is also going to be very important, as well as the tyre starts wear, going to become, of course, harder and harder to get your overtakes completed. And if we do go green for that whole run, you will eventually, of course, end up a long way off lead of the race if you bury yourself here in qualifying. Pretty simple track to get around as tracks go. As we watch on board Stephen Williams here of Illusion Motorsport, making his way through 3 and 4 now on his first lap. You come out of the pits, go flat through 3 and 4. Then he's got to lift through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 then from that point on for the rest of the laps in the stint, as Williams puts himself up into 7th place. A little bit off the pace for him. So it's not a track. It's not one of those tracks, Simon, where you can take it flat out, but it is a pretty fast track. You don't have to lift too much, do you?
No, not at all. Like the laps I was sort of doing a bit early just to sort of familiarise myself. It's sort of,
it's not a track. It's not one of those tracks.
Very well. Don't have to lift too much into turn 1. Turn 1, 2, you can really keep the pace up. 3 and
Back
4
side
very
where
much
you
the
can
ceiling.
take
You
it
can
flat out.
really run off hard in there as well. Get to the bottom line coming out of 4 and have a really cool run down the front straight. Yeah, I think being so fast and flowing, overtaking is probably not going to be a huge, massively easy for the guys, I should say. But yeah, it's a really, really cool track, and interesting to see how good the racing is tonight, which I think it'd be pretty damn good.
Yeah, I've done a couple of races myself this week, and the racing has been pretty good when I was the one putting it in the fence and bringing out that caution. A lot of people seem to be able to keep this car going pretty cleanly without making contact, and we've been getting some pretty decent green flag runs. Whether I've been getting lucky, though, is yet to be seen. I do suspect, though, we'll at least get one decent stint in of green flag running. Won't be seeing any pit stops today, though, Simon. Tyres don't warrant it. Sorry, I should say the race isn't long enough to warrant coming down and getting fresh tyres, even if they do wear off. If a caution comes out, we'll see everyone in pit lane, but there's enough fuel to make it home straight to the finish.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll get there all the way. And like I said, like I was sort of saying, tyres are going to be the big key point if we do go green the whole way. So races I've done a couple of weeks ago, try to go the full distance. You do notice the tyre drop off is quite significant, especially if you get sort of like, if we get to 30, 40s lap ranges, tyre drop off is quite considerable, and you're going to notice it having to really back off to get the cars to the end. So if we do get a pit stop, it'd be interesting to see if we do get a pit stop in this race to see how hard they can run to the end. But yeah, see Bo on screen now going for his lap time. We'll say Brenton Hobson up in third. It's not typical for what we usually see him. He's a bit further up than what we usually see him.
Yes, maybe, but he has got the third highest R rating in the room, so he's clearly got the pace when it comes to the oval circuit. And showing that at the moment is Dave Douglas puts his virtual motorsport machine up into second place, as Bo Albert will come across the line, and Albert puts himself up into just 14th. He will improve on the second lap, provided it's clean. Natural speed of the car is quicker on the second of your two qualifying attempts. He'll just about get around before the timer runs down as well. So we'll see what sort of improvement he can make. You would expect it to be about a tenth of a second, so might be in with a shout of putting himself inside the top 10 here. There's a number of other drivers too that haven't put down a qualifying time that you maybe would have expected to. We'll touch on that in a second. As Albert comes across the line, goes up to 4th place, so finds a big improvement on that second lap in that livery that is very interesting. I'll just leave it at that, as McLeod will be the final car to come across the start-finish line. It's a time good enough for 20th on the grid. Skurlock put in a late effort to go 6th as well. Let's go through the grid then for Chicagoland Speedway. James E. Burrows, 22nd rated driver in the room. He's gone and put it on pole. Ahead of Dave Douglas in second, Gabriel Stewart and Bo Albert line up third and fourth. Marcin Zemojdin, Marcin Zemojdin. Please tell me how to pronounce your name. Starts fifth. Michael Skurlock from sixth. David Clumman in seventh. Out of Brenton Hobson eighth. Michael Schreier and Max Materia start 9th and 10th.
As we head up to P11, one. Oh, jeez, I feel sorry for him. Aragonés. Apologies for that one. Tom Huggin goes 12th. Takayua. I'm not trying to. Utsugi. Bjorn Redahasi in 14th. 15th is Mayek Deniki. Go with that. 16th, Stephen Williams. 17th, Tracy Rumschlag. Go with that. Nahum Fernandez in 18th. Reese Goldfish 19th. And yes, Mitch McLeod P20.
Running out the field there, Mirko Dortnack, Joe Hernandez, Kelly Thompson. Mirko Dortnack is an interesting name not to have registered a lap time. Didn't attempt a lap in qualifying either. Maybe just trying to play it safe out there. Track temp is 27 degrees. Plenty grippy for these drivers. Little bit of cloud cover as well, just to put a bit of shade onto the track. Shouldn't be struggling on too much. The setup and the track conditions this week have definitely been favouring on the tight side. So drivers will be struggling coming out of the corners and threatening to knock the wall down on the outside.
Oh, yep, as you see them all rolling away at the moment. Yes, actually, the cooler track tents always generally does make a lot better racing. As you can see, tires won't tend to get as hot. May help the tire wear as we keep sort of going on about with cooler track temps. But yeah, it's just going to be see how the race goes tonight. Few of just sort of having a flick through the field, we can sort of see the number one driver buried down 15th at the moment. So interested to see maybe he didn't get the car switched on for this quality run, but we'll see if they can come through the field. A few other guys with high I ratings are sort of a bit further down the field. Yeah, just sort of see how they can sort of come through the field. And obviously being buried down where they are is not where they want to be. They generally want to be at the front with this type of track. So see how they go, how they manage their tires, and try to get a good result in the end.
Alrighty, let's get this one underway. Heading on to lap 1 of 45. A short race out there, a short sprint. Who gets the better jump then? James Burrows inside front row. Dave Douglas to his outside. Pace car going to dive down off turn number 4. And we await the green flag here at Chicagoland. Green flag in the air. Let's get racing here for week 8 of the iRacing official truck series. And a pretty even start off the bat from the top 2 guys. Burrows will jump out to the lead, heading through turn number 1. And Gabriel Stoll is going to get down to the inside of Dave Douglas. And Bo Albert makes his way to the inside line as well, thinking about making it 3 wide down that back straight, and he will do so now. And Stoll is going to be caught in the middle. Is Albert going to force the issue? No, he's not. Stoll a long way up the track, almost making contact with Douglas. Going to lose out now as well to the number 7 of Marchin, who goes through and takes away P3. A bad start there for Douglas, goes back to the outside of the top 5.
Yeah, I did notice as well, Tracy had hit the bottom little apron coming in through 1 as well, has dropped right to the back of the field, well off the back of the pack. Lucky didn't trigger a caution at all, but yeah, that's going to make their day a bit harder. Obviously, if they're not part of the train at the moment. Very, very good start from everyone at the moment. Kept it clean, not a lot of rubbing, everyone giving each other plenty of space, just selling it out, just getting it rhythm for the race at the moment. So still got a few little battle packs going at the moment. A few people trying to sort of jostle for position, but everyone's doing a relatively good job, sort of just keeping the rhythm going, not really causing too many issues. So very good start.
It is indeed. Side by side, Brenton Hobson and Michael Schreier making their way down into turns number 3 and 4. Hobson down on the inside, trying to retain the spot, I should say. He's been defending it. Schreier trying to go the long way round. And still Hobson just about holding on. Schreier getting a bit of help from the draft of Dave Douglas right in front of him. And these two just in a bit of a lock at the moment. Neither able to pull away as they're out of turn number 2. Schreier gets the run. Should just about clear him on the approach to turn 3. Up front, it's still James Burrows who leads by about a tenth. 2 tenths back to Bo Albert up into 2nd. And Marchin is up into 3rd from 4th and 5th on the grid. Those 2 drivers. So good starts at both of them. Skurlock as well up from 6th up into 4th. So +2 at the expense of Gabriel Storr and Dave Douglas. Both a bit lacking off the start for a little bit of outright pace, as we see now on board with Hobson. Or on board with Schreier, still yet to make that move stick on Hobson.
Yeah, also noticing down the back too, Mitch McLeod is making his way through the field as well, come up from 20th to 13th at the moment. Doing a very good job pulling his way through the field. Mayak also doing the same thing, sort of just pulling his way a bit further forward. They're in a little bit of a pack at the moment. Everyone seems sort of running around the same pace, but it'll be interesting to see how those two can pull their way through the field. Sort of a bit of a pack in the middle. Yeah, back up front again.
James Burrows is coming under threat here from Bo Albert, who looked to the outside, down the back straight. Now, though, going to be on the defensive as Marchin goes down to the inside. Going to take that spot away. What about the lead of the race? He's looking low. Has he got enough of an overlap? Is he going to commit to the corner? He does, makes contact, sends Burrows around, collected by Albert. And into the outside fence he goes, collected as well by another car. David Clement cops a piece of it too. And in the end, I think there's 3 or 4 cars that got a piece of that one. Trying to just take a look at who that other car involved was. It was Michael Schreier.
Yeah, that was a big one that happened there. So it sort of just involved 2 people at the start, but then everyone else just sort of, don't know if they could quite see what was happening in front of them, but sort of no one really sort of backed out until it was too late. And a few guys that got caught up big time. Brenton Hobson looks like he's also involved as well. He's slowing right up at the moment. Let's go to replay at the moment, have a quick look at what's happened here. So obviously we've got the contact that happened. Those just sort of nowhere to go, and then the number 3 just straight into him.
Ooh.
Straight into him. That was a big hit. That was a very, very big hit.
Fortunate for Michael Schreier, that number 3 driver. Nowhere he could... Oh, that was Brenton Hobson actually in the 3. Yeah, so you are right. Hobson is the one that copped the brunt of that. Nowhere he could go once Burrows bounced down off that wall. Michael Schreier did cop a piece of Brenton Hobson's machine in that as well. And the number 17, I did notice too, may have escaped without too much damage. He was certainly right there with Burrows as he collected Michael Schreier. I think he's just about escaped though. The number 7 of Marchin, this Emotion, has had some issues while leading this race under caution. And just having a look at this motor simulation replay here, Simon.
Oh.
Yes.
That's a bit peculiar. I'm going back and having a quick look at that, but not sure what's actually happened there. It's just having another look. Oh. I feel like he's actually gone down a gear or something and just locked the rears. That's just like the rears just all of a sudden stopped and slid on him. That's very interesting. Yeah.
I just went on board and listened to it. I think he might have actually popped it in neutral. And in doing so, those rears have pinched, and that is extremely unfortunate for him because he was in the box seat there from the lead of the race. So to talk about the catalyst for that incident, Marchin was trying to get it down to the inside of Burrows. We said he had to be committed to getting into the corner, but he wasn't up far enough. And that car ahead of Burrows is well entitled to come down and take his line. And saying that, he did leave just about a car's width, unfortunately, too deep. And that contact was made. And that is the damage I talked about to Michael Schreier's machine. And that will hurt him significantly. That's right on the front end, right where the air meets the car. Not going to be particularly aerodynamic. Ooh, looks like it may have probably damaged the engine too.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially his cooling, it won't be helping that at all at the moment. So he'll be keeping a big eye on his engine temps at the moment. I can imagine that, especially if he's going to be in a bit of traffic, those temps are going to creep up quite a bit. So a few guys stayed out to try and keep the track position. Just trying to pick up on who hasn't actually pitted yet. You guys haven't, but trying to make it'd be an interesting strategy. We're only only 10 laps into this race, so it'd be an interesting strategy to see if you can actually stay out. Whether or not the tyres would give you a big advantage to the end of the race. So we're seeing if anyone rolls that dice, but don't think many have actually for that strategy.
Gabriel Stoll has got himself back up into 3rd place, where he started this one too as well after a poor start. Let's see what he can do this time. 2nd time is the charm for him, hopefully. Try and get it going from 3rd place. This time, though, he's got Bo Albert in front of him from the front position. Skurlock to the outside. And Albert pins that throttle, gets us back underway. A nice clean start from him. Skurlock will come down and slot into 2nd ahead of Gabriel Stoll. And then the fight is on from then on back. Takuya Utsugi is going backwards at a rate of knots, being swallowed up by Redahasi and Aragonus as well as up in front. Michael Schreier is coming under some pressure, and at the very front, down to the inside, is Michael Skurlock trying to take it away. And how easy did he make that one look? Straight through into the lead of the race. And Albert struggling just a bit, maybe, because Gabriel still is going to get down to the inside as well.
Contact down the back.
And a caution comes out.
Oh, looks like Schreier was involved in that one as well. Not quite sure what's actually happened there. Just going to go.
McLeod.
Oh, and McLeod. Oh, no. Oh, McLeod. That's a bit of smoke coming from McLeod's car. Don't think it's in too happy of a mood. go back and have a quick look at the replay and try and piece together what's happened there. So Australia obviously a bit slow, obviously that engine damage, and he's just Mitch not sure if he knew how much gap he had. He's just sort of come straight into him. So don't think that was intentional. Just probably didn't realize that there wasn't probably that much of a gap there. So unfortunate contact there for Mitch and for Michael as well. So yeah, that's obviously done engine damage to Mitch's car as well. So that will be his day done.
Yeah, definitely not intentional. Definitely a slight misjudgment on the part of McLeod there. So he will probably take no further part in this one if he's got engine damage. I think the repair time for that is about 30 minutes or so. We're on lap 13. He's had 2 cautions after about an 8-lap opening stint to this one before that first one flew for the contact with Burrows and Marchin. And we'll see if anyone decides to come down pit lane. It was a very short run. I wouldn't expect to see anyone, but Gabriel still thinks about it, fakes out, and decides not to come. Bo Albert will do, though, and will be the only driver, in fact, to come down pit lane. Stephen Williams will join him, as will the number 1 machine of Mike Stenik, who's got a bit of damage to his rear end. Williams has got a tiny bit on his right rear, but I've just noticed now that on the back end of Bo Albert's machine is a little bit of damage, and that might explain his slow pace off that restart.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking that we've only done probably 1 or 2 laps at green flag pace, so you only would be pitting if you have damage. So definitely would explain why Bo's motivation to come down to the lane. Probably so if he's got a bit of damage there, get that fixed up as quick as he can. They should have enough opportunities under this safety car period to get that done. They'll lose a bit of track position, but hopefully they'll gain that back later in the race. Obviously, they'll be onto the back of the field once before we go green, so they won't lose too much time and get that damage obviously fixed up. So wait and see how they go on the restart, I guess.
Certainly. Of course, next week for this series, we head to the high banks of Daytona International Speedway for what will be a very exciting week. I imagine massive participation across all 3 NASCAR divisions, and I imagine this time slot as well next week. We'll see 2 splits minimum once again. Should be a cracking broadcast, that one, if you want to get involved. Also, big news with SimSpeed TV that we announced, I think, a couple of weeks ago now, was that we are going to be covering the NASCAR iRacing series live on the iRacing Esports Network at 9 p.m. Friday night Eastern Time, covering the Open setup series for NIS. That will be a lot of fun. Got some great people joining us up in the commentary box as well. And I know myself, I'm very excited for that. Jay Kennedy, our director, incredibly excited for that. And if you do want to get involved, and if you do think you will be in top split for that one, don't forget to head over to the SimSpeed website and upload some of your paints. Maybe give us a bit of information about yourself to help us out in the broadcast for that one. Simon, you looking forward to sitting back and watching that? You going to get involved in some of NIS? Won't quite be top split though, would you?
No, unfortunately my rating's not quite high enough, but definitely will be having a crack at that time slot. My cricket season will be finished, so I'll actually have weekends free on Saturday, so it'll be good. But yes, definitely having a crack myself. iRating will definitely need to be improved upon before I can really make top split. But yes, I can tell you're excited about it. You haven't stopped talking about it all week, so it's going to be very, very, yeah. Oh, it's going to be amazing to watch. So
Yeah, it certainly will be. Should be a cracker, but we'll keep the focus here for now because not even halfway through this one. And for Australian sim racing oval enthusiasts, it's a familiar name at the front in Michael Skurlock. Formidable force on the oval scene. Unfortunately not sporting the livery, although competing for Illusion Motorsport and powered by Virtual Motorsport Mentor. Gabriel Stewart was outside, also opting for the no livery approach on that machine. And we are just using trading paints for this one at the moment. And if we do change to a uploaded livery scheme, we will let you know. But for now, just chuck those paints on trading paints, and you'll see them on the broadcast here.
You always get some interesting paint jobs. Bo's tonight is one of those such paint jobs that's a bit interesting tonight. It's classic Bo though. The the Tonks mobile, whatever he would like to call it. But I think that's the most we'll say about it, though. I think we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's get this one back underway then, with Michael Skurlock, the third different leader we've had, coming to the green flag. In the hands of him now, Gabriel Stoer still hovering up the front. He goes from second, green flag back in the air, and a lackluster start from Stoer. He's going to have to try and cover the inside, because Juan is trying to get through there. Apologies on the name. And Redahassi is going around the outside too with a whole head of steam, making their way through turn 2 now. Redahassi might benefit from a bit of slipstream from Gabriel Stoer down this back straightaway, and in fact he most certainly will do. Pulls almost ahead on the approach to 3, but he's got the long way round at turn 3 and 4, and up the inside will go Juan Aragonés, and up into P3 he will sit.
Yeah, it's just noticing, Michael, that was a very, very good jump off the line. He's got himself a nice big gap at the moment, although it looks like they're going to be closing that back up. The mid-pack is a bit of battling going on at the moment, sort of around the 13th position. They're sort of getting into it a little bit. So, once again, nice clean start by everyone. The restarts have been really, really good for the most part. Because obviously that mid-pack is looking like it's going to really start taking off in a minute, with people starting to make their way through the field. But yeah, really good stuff so far.
Up front, the lead is still with Skurlock, but not by much at all. It's not a comfortable lead. Gabriel Stoer is hunting him down in second place. Small gap to Juan Aragonés in third. Bjorn Redahassi trailing him fourth. Dave Douglas is still up there in fifth. Takui Utsugi is in 6th. Nahum Martinez Fernandez 7th. 8th place goes to Mike Stenik. 9th is Reese Goldfinch. Mirko Dornak just made his way up into P10. He's got Bo Albert behind him now, who slips outside of the 10, and he's now sitting in 11th.
Yeah, watching this battle back here as well. Stephen Williams all the way back. Joe Hernandez and Max all in a bit of a battle here at the moment. About all 5 of them. These two are going, there's 2 packs going side by side now out of 2. Just sort of giving each other plenty of room.
Oh, Williams, he got the fence. There's a battle going on here that involves 4 cars, and I don't see this ending particularly well. Williams, he was very lucky to escape that, in fact, without losing more momentum than he did. Gave it a big whack coming out of turn number 4. Up front as well, in the battle for P4, Dave Douglas had just got by Bjorn Redahassi, so he puts himself up 1 more spot, and Redahassi's going to be careful not to come under pressure from the number 17, as Williams further back is coming under a lot of pressure as Joe Hernandez gets to his inside, dives all the way down to the extreme left-hand side, down on the apron, brings it back up to the racing surface, and into turns 1 and 2 they go, being trailed by Marcin Zamojdin there in 17th place. He's being scored in. I had to take a breath there. I thought this battle was for about 10th place. They're racing pretty hard.
I was going to say, yeah, they're a bit down in the pack, but they're definitely still racing hard. Marcin, I thought he would have tried to take the advantage of Williams fighting in front of him, but he's still going to get a decent run. Bo seems to be going backwards a little bit at the moment. Yeah, he's struggling for pace at the moment. Yeah, maybe that rear damage, you can sort of still see it there. So, a bit of a bump from Fernandez out of the 2. So just trying to give Bo a little bit of a push, but yeah, fortunately still a bit of damage on that car.
Yeah, right on that rear wing as well. It'll be significantly hurting the aerodynamics of that machine. Not surprised to see him struggling now. Williams lifted before he looked to the inside, and that might hurt him now. Up front too, Mike Stenik in the number 1 machine is looking to the inside of the number 11 of Nahum Martinez Fernandez, almost making contact down that back straightaway, which at Chicagoland is less of a straight, more of a long curve, which does occasionally catch a couple drivers out. Almost did there. Fernandez going to lose the spot, going to lose out as well, and a crash in front of them. The 17. That was Takui Utsugi, and Juan Aragonés was the man who got collected, and right at the death there, Max Materia just gave him a little push out of sympathy. And I did not catch how that one started.
Yeah, just having a quick look at the moment. It looks like Dave Douglas may have actually
Ooh,
got
yep.
into the rear. Oh, he's not there. He just doesn't look like he's quite there at the moment when that contact happened. So, a bit unfortunate. It was just, yeah, he was sitting on the bottom. There was definitely a gap. There was definitely room for him to at least stick his nose in and have a bit of a look. I'm not sure if he just hasn't realised and come down on top of Dave, but fortunately, big accident. Caught the number 17 car as well. Believe that. Yep, Takayua as well involved in that one, unfortunately.
Big shame for those guys, and that's another battle up in the front. This is the onboard camera, and being completely neutral here from a standpoint as an Illusion Motorsport team driver, I have got to say, it almost looks a bit on Dave there, the contacts. I think maybe expecting the 6 to move up the track a bit earlier, but of course you've got to keep it off that outside car. He's obliged to crowd you down to the inside line if he wants to. Unfortunately, just couldn't keep that car glued to the apron. It's a tricky inside line to hold, a lot of bumps right where that apron meets the normal racing surface, and so they come unstuck there. And we go into, what is this, our third caution of the day?
Yeah, it'd be caution number 3 at the moment. So, yeah, a bit surprising. Didn't think we'd have this many cautions, but giving them plenty of opportunities to get some damage fixed and put some new tyres on. So, giving them plenty of rubber for the end. So, currently on lap 26, if I'm right, lap 26 out of 45. So, yeah, just a bit. And just also noticing as well, the leader, Michael Skurlock, is the only one to not pit during
Nope.
that caution. We've
No.
also, sorry,
No. No,
oh,
Martinez
Fernandez, sorry,
Fernandez did not
right,
pit.
yes,
Skurlock will line up second.
yes. Wait for things to update before you say things. Yes, very good. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. That was horrible. Oh man. But anyways, yes, not taking the stop. So, not sure when Fernandez last pitted. Maybe trying to use track position to his advantage, hoping that. Yeah, obviously, yeah, not pitting at all. Sorry, yes, has not pitted at all. So he's still on the tyres that he started this race with. So very brave strategy. I'm not sure if that one's going to work out too well. But if we keep having cautions, you never know. He may pull a very good strategy out here.
Well, 27 laps on these tyres is starting to get towards the range where you'd think about really trying to be nice to your tyres. It's about that point where they're going to start really dropping off for the drivers that don't just kill their tyres off the bat like me.
Mm.
And we've had a whole heap of yellow flag laps, excuse me,
Yeah.
probably getting up towards half. So I'd suggest those tyres are in pretty good nick. And if he has been looking after them, planning to not pit the entire race regardless of caution, I would suggest that Fernandez is in a very good spot here, provided he can take the fight to the guys like Skurlock, Douglas, and Stower up there with him.
Yeah, exactly. His main goal, I think, in this case, would be to get a really good start and try and keep the lead. Obviously, as you're saying, the tyres probably haven't done a whole lot of work, so not sure how he'll go against the guys behind with fresh tyres. But if he can hold the lead and then we get another caution, he's obviously got the track positions perfect for him. He can take the pit stop, put brand new rubber on, and come out in the lead ahead of everyone. So it is a good strategy. If he can make it work, it's a very good strategy to get that track position. But he's definitely going to be counting on trying to get another safety car so that he can try and get some new rubbers on it, because yeah, I don't think he'll make it to the end compared to the guys with new tyres. I don't think he'll have the pace at the end.
Yeah, for him, he probably wants this to go about 8 or 10 laps, green flag, and then a caution. That'll bring everyone down to pit road, including him. If it's just 1 or 2 laps, none of the drivers that just pitted will pit again. He'll have to make a decision then what he wants to do. So he wants a decent green flag run here, but doesn't want it to go all the way to the end. Will he get his wish? It's our 4th different leader to get back to the green flag. It's Fernandez on the front row with Michael Skurlock, Douglas, and Stower line up on that second row. Let's get this one back underway. Green flag in the air. He's held them a long time and it balks the field up. We get back racing and Douglas moves himself straight up into second. The outside really checked up. Bo Albert coming through in the background with a head of steam up in that third lane. Gonna lose it though through the middle of the corner as they're almost formed up 2 by 2 heading through turn number 2. Douglas takes the lead away down on the inside with help from Bjorn Redahassi as they make their way down the back straight into turn number 3, and the 11 of Fernandez way wide into the corner, losing a lot of time now as he is, I think, struggling with those tyres. Mirko Dornak is going to move himself up into 4th. Skurlock's been caught behind Fernandez. He's got nowhere to go as the 5 of Redahassi, almost into the back of Dave Douglas, swipes across his rear end. A beautiful move through turns 1 and 2. He's trying to take the lead away down into turn 3.
Yeah, this has just been all action ever since they went to green. Everyone's fighting as hard as they can to try to get in front of the pack. Bo Albert, amazing start he managed to pull off. He's got himself back into this lead train at the moment, so he'll be licking his lips for a chance to have a go at the lead a bit later on. But yes, everyone's sort of settled out now. Michael Skurlock still trying to pull his way through the field. Looks like he's going to get Fernandez, so unfortunately, as I was sort of saying, Fernandez really needed those tyres to switch on to keep the lead. It doesn't look like he's got that much pace compared to the guys with brand new tyres. Because we've got a lap car as well. That's going to be causing a bit of issues for the leaders as they'll be trying to move through. Oh, Douglas! He's managed to avoid that one nicely. Doesn't look like he'll lose much pace to the lead at the moment. But this will be looking very good for Bjorn. He'll be seeing what's going on behind him and thinking, yes, please, check them up, give me a gap. I don't want to be anywhere near them at the moment.
And Mike Stenik proving an absolute nuisance there for Mirko Dornak, who couldn't use all of the track like he wanted. Left him vulnerable to Gabriel Stoer, who looks to the inside. They were 3 wide for a moment through turn 3. Michael Skurlock's going to prove beneficial to this one here, as he gets to the outside as Stoer to the inside as Stenik takes him 3 wide across the tri-oval, and he puts himself ahead on the approach into turn number 1. Can he get the run out of the corner though? That's what's going to be crucial here. Expect his teammate to stay up against the wall and give him a bit of substreaming assistance. Down this back straight away into turn number 3. He's not quite got that momentum, and he might just struggle to hold on here. Gonna have to rethink his strategy on how to get by Gabriel Storer. Oh no, up into the fence right in front of the Mirko Dornak there with a big whack. Coming off turn number 4, he gathers it up, loses 2 spots. How is that damage going to affect his car though, as he tries to fight back on the inside?
Yeah, it looks like he's only just copped a bit to the front right. Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage there, but we can already see on the outside, Skurlock is just able to sort of range past him at the moment. So yeah, down the whole side, so that front guard and down the whole side as well. So that is definitely going to be having a bit of an aero effect at the moment. Might be too bad, but no, definitely. There is definitely a lot of aero damage to that car at the moment.
Just behind Mike Stenik is Fernandez in 6th place. Bo Albert in 7th behind him, coming under pressure from Tracy Rumschlag, who gets down to the inside and should take this one away. Albert looks like he's still struggling for a bit of outright pace, thanks to that rear end damage as Rumschlag, he got a bit of the apron, almost moved up into the rear of the 11, and Albert, he almost came down right across the bumper, and Joe Hernandez, great heads up driving from him to lift off the throttle. It's going to cost him those spots to Kelly Thompson and Stephen Williams, and Albert just losing a bit of awareness there as to who was around him, almost causing the 4th caution of the day. Luckily, we stay green and we keep on racing.
Yeah, Fernandez has got to be a little bit careful there. I did notice that he just sort of cut down hard to try to get to that bottom lane, which sort of caused a bit of the checkup that sort of happened there. I think he's definitely struggling for tyre life at the moment. That may also be playing into that as well. So he's starting to drop back now. I think once Bo gets onto the back of him, he should be able to make use. Apparently there's a bit going up front at the moment.
Battle for second, Gabriel Stoer and Michael Skurlock ran 2/10 second lap quicker than the top 2 last time by, and now Stoer wants to put himself into that 2nd place so he can chase the leader down, and he's just about going to do it here off the exit of turn 4, leads this battle for second at the start-finish stripe. and through on the inside line for 1 and 2. Should take this one away and move up in front of him off the exit of the second corner, which he does so. Douglas almost making a mess of his teammate's front bumper there. Michael Skerlock had to just feather that throttle a bit as Douglas tried to come back and store. Didn't have the momentum, kisses the wall off of turn number 4. And Radahase is going to be loving this in his rear view mirror. It was a 31.6 last time by for him, a 31.7 for Storer and for Skerlock. And the caution flies.
Oh, wonder what's triggered that caution at the moment. Oh, I can see Bo Albert's involved as well.
Damn it, Bo.
Ah, the Tonks. And looks like it's Bone. Oh, contact with Steve. Oh, that is a big one. Not sure what has led to that one there, but there's definitely side-by-side contact. And, oh, that's just put both of them straight into the wall. That is a big, big hit. Wow. That is a huge one, unfortunately. Yeah, catching both of them out. So, both trying to fight over the same bit of real estate by the looks of it. So, unfortunately, resulting in a little bit of contact. Oh, there was a little bit of a bump. And then another bump. So fortunate for those two. Lucky to not catch anyone else out as well. They managed to avoid those two quite easily. But yeah, and now we're up to caution number 4.
Quite easily probably undersells the guy's ability that missed that crash. Yeah, very, very lucky indeed. I think Albert just expected Williams to stay down on that apron for a little bit longer. Although in setting that, there is an obligation to let the car on the apron back up onto the racing surface. Should bear that in mind as Radahase fakes them all out, stays out on the racing track. Everyone else gonna do the same thing as him. 2 cars to pit though are Fernandez and Kelly Thompson. Juan Aragonés pits as well. Just trying to figure out how many laps we're going to have here. I think we might have effectively a regulation green-white checkered. We'll be restart onto lap 44. And if a caution does come out, we'll have a proper green-white checkered attempt.
Yeah, we need to see if it's what we get towards the end. If it's a green-white checkered, be an exciting last lap. Is it a single lap, or do we get 2 laps to
So
run?
the green-white checkered is exactly how it sounds. You get the green flag, you race around the track, you get the white flag, you race around, you get the checkered flag. Only thing that stops that process from happening if a caution comes out on the first lap of the restart, the field will get put back under the caution, and if you have more than 1 attempt, you'll do it all again. In official racing, we have just 1 attempt. That will end the race. If you make it to the white flag, you're going to be coming back to the checkered flag either on all 4 wheels, or you're not coming back to the checkered flag at all, because no matter what happens, that green flag will stay up, the caution won't fly.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Ryan Jones giving you the lowdown on the green-white checkered. I actually needed to know that one. That was it's one of those things, especially for me coming from the roadside into oval, learning these little things. You sort of gotta do a bit of research and figure out how they all work. But definitely keen to see how this one rolls out. Hopefully we do get the green-white checkered. We definitely want to finish these races under green. It's not too much fun finishing under caution. So hopefully we do get that and we get to run this thing all the way to the end.
And that was why everyone loved the addition of the green-white checkered system. It prevented a lot of races that normally finish under caution from doing so. Just heard from Bo Albert as well. The reason for his rear end damage is he was hit under the safety car period. Of course, don't forget the message on his rear spoiler says, "Love you, Jay." So clearly, someone disagreed with that, and I wouldn't blame them.
Aw, how can you not love Jay? He's a beautiful human being. I don't know how anyone can not like him. I mean, he's nice to me. He sends me nice messages all the time, especially tonight, getting ready for this broadcast. Sent me the most confidence boosting broadcast messages ever. So
Keep it PG.
yeah, he's a very good person to me.
In our defense, Jay is laughing right now, so it's all good. We're off the hook. We're not going to get fired from Superspeed TV. Not for this broadcast, anyway.
You might not get fired. Not so sure about me. Might be in trouble. Oh, he's very quick.
He is quick. All right. Lights are out on the safety car, pace car, which means we are going to restart next time. But we'll be on to lap 44. So while it will have all the regulations of effectively a green light checkered, we are still within the regulation 45 laps, so it doesn't count as a green light checkered attempt, but it will be a 2-lap dash.
Looking very good for that. So, out of everyone,
Who's your pick? Who's your pick?
Who's my pick? Geez, now you're gonna put it on me. Well, Bjorn starts. He got a very good jump in that last one. Managed to put a nice gap out. Doesn't look like any of the front runners have pitted at all. Obviously, being such a short run to the finish, no one's really going to take tyres. If he's been able to take care of them, I reckon if he gets a nice good start, should be able to clear out and stay there. But in saying that, Gabriel Stoer, definitely a very quick guy. He is the number 2 car in this one, so we definitely can't discount him. We've got the 2 guys behind as well, Michael and Dave.
All right, 5 restarts, 5 different leaders. It's Bjorn Radahasi from position number 1, Gabriel Stoer to his outside as they lead us back to the green flag and Chicagoland Speedway back underway for potentially the final time today. It is a good restart for Radahasi. Gabriel Stoer is going to have to come down and cover off Michael Skurlock. He's just about going to do so as they make their way through 1 and 2. What has Gabriel Stoer got in store for Radahasi here? Down the back straightaway for the penultimate time. Firmly tucked up in that slipstream. But is he close enough to get close and have a look on the final lap of the race as they all 3 of them close up through 3 and 4? It's going to be a 3-way battle for the lead of the race as the white flag flies. For the final time today, we head into turns 1 and 2. It's still Radahasi. Still had a big look at his rear bumper. Almost gave him a touch as they make their way through. And now onto the back straight for the final time. It's still Radahasi. And Skurlock now in 3rd place, trying to look and take away 2nd. But Gabriel Stoer is going to cover him off. And he can't quite get there, can Michael Skurlock. But Stoer's got to the outside here of Radahasi. And he sweeps to the inside.
Oh,
and he gets turned across the line, but Radahasi will win here at Chicagoland Speedway. The gap at the line, 0.05 of a second.
What a crazy way to end that one. You could sort of see Stoer went straight down to the apron, obviously having the shorter run to the line. Radahasi had to react to that one and just a little bit of contact, but everyone finished. So one of those things that sort of happened, but brilliant racing. Those 3 towards the end, it looked like it could have been any one of them taking the win at that. So right into that 3, into turn 3 and 4, Skurlock was in there. So very good racing by the top 3. Very nicely done.
What a finish that was then for the lead of the race. That's what we want to see here in NASCAR racing. Let's go through the official results from Chicagoland Speedway for the Friday night Gander Outdoors Class C Truck Series then. And it was Bjorn Radahasi that took victory from 14th on the grid. Gabriel Stoer came home in 2nd ahead of Michael Skurlock, Dave Douglas, and Mirko Dortnack. 3rd, 4th, and 5th for Illusion Motorsport and Virtual Motorsport Mentor. 6th place for Tracy Rumschlag. 7th was Kelly Thompson ahead of Mike Stenik in 8th. 9th and 10th, Nahum Martinez Fernandez and Joe Hernandez.
And obviously rounding out 11, Marcin Zemodins. Yeah.
Marcin Zemodin.
Thank you very much. Saving me again tonight. Stephen Williams coming in at 12th. Bo Albert in 13th place. 14th was Juan Aragona's Max Matiera in 15th. And 16th was Takayagi Utsugui. 17th, this is the start of our non-finishers. Reese Goldfinch, Mitch McLeod, Michael Schreier, and David Clamon.
Tom Hogan, James Burrows, Brenton Olpson. They rounded out the 23-car field here from Chicagoland Speedway. That was a brilliant race all round. We had a few cautions, maybe a couple more than we would have preferred, but they still put on a good show, plenty of good racing out there. And the Truck Series, it seems, well, our first time broadcasting it, seems to have delivered. So next week, we will be back at the same time, 9:15 Australian Eastern Standard Time, 11:15 GMT on Friday day for Daytona International Speedway. But before then, we've got plenty of exciting things coming up. Namely, tomorrow we have the international split, the international pro split of the major series, the Daytona 500. That will be an incredible race. And then we back it up with the Porsche Strength of Field on Saturday evening as well. Monday night, the Supercars Strength of Field. Plus Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Sunday. We've got broadcasts almost every day next week. So make sure you subscribe to the SimSpeed YouTube channel if you want to stay in touch. Also consider the SimSpeed social channels as well on Facebook, Instagram, and also on Twitch too, if you want to keep up to date with all our latest broadcasts and quality content. If you enjoyed the broadcast, make sure you give us a like, let us know what you thought, and until next time, from myself, Ryan Jones, from Simon Mizomo alongside me, and from Jay Kennedy behind the scenes, we will see you next time, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Daytona 500.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got rid of the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my god! Oh! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?